All is one, P.A. Finley, Anonymous, thePafWay, coming at you live. The name of this video is going to be Heads and Tails, and pretty much about when we came into this world, we knew the coin. But this world introduces us to both sides of the coin. We knew the coin was one when we came in, but we was taught separation. We knew unity when we came in, and then we was taught separation. I think what's going on in an evolutionary sense is we're being taught unity again, but this time we'll know unity with heads and tails. In other words, we'll know unity with separation. Maybe prior to us entering, we knew the one, but we didn't know the two sides of the one. And so the whole experience and journey is to gain the experience of separation, to gain the experience that there are two sides to every coin. Again, we knew the coin, and when we leave here, we know the coin again. But this time will be, when we leave back, we'll know the coin and both sides of the coin. Not just the coin, but the dualistic nature of the coin, or the trialistic nature, because there's the ridges. So what's new, what seems to be a little bit different, is that we're beginning to experience, again, we started out knowing the one. Entering this dimension, we learn the division of the one, if you will, the separation of the one, the opposing polarities of the one. And then when we leave, we go back to the one. But what seems to be happening is, before we leave, we're becoming aware of the one, while being introduced to the heads and tails of the one, which is a brand new experience to become aware of the one while you're in this dimension of separation, is a whole new experience, if you will. And now I don't think it's a new experience to the one, but I think it really is a new experience to the traveler, you and I, the individual grain of sand, as it were. The individual blood cell of the body. We're beginning to experience what it is to be the one and to be separate at the same time. To be the one and the two, and the three, and the four, and the dimensions go. So when they say one, then comes the two and the three and four. So hip hop, man, you just gotta love it. So I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I had this on my mind while I was, I'm just getting up. But overnight, this image came to me that we come in, we know the one, and then we're taught by our parents and the world and everything else that we are separate from everything. And then we experience this separated world until we leave it and go back to the one where there is no separation. Now we're coming in knowing the one and then being introduced to separation. So somewhat forgetting the one while we're here in this world of separation. I'm here, you're there. But now we're remembering the one while we're in this world of separation. So on one hand, we have the one, and on the other hand, we have separation, the two. It's what a beautiful process that is. Now, the process. 50,000 years or so to get to this point, to get to the point where we become aware of the oneness of things while we're in the world of separation. And the awareness of the one, what it does is, for me, it brings comfort. It brings a sense of peace because all is one, and that's okay. It's like no matter what I'm experiencing here, I know there's something behind the scenes that has it all figured out. So there's a feeling of connection and being a part of something. So I guess my life, it's a trip, man. If you take a look at your life, your life is set up in a way that leads you to a certain point. It could be anything. My life could have been anything other than what it was. Yet it was this. It never knew my father. Single mother all the way up until 16. Then she passed away. Went into this foster system for a couple of years until I was 18. Then they kicked me out and said, "You're grown now. Do what you do." And I was searching for love. I was searching for that parental love. And I didn't know that at the time, obviously. How do you don't know nothing at 18. But even prior to that, I got hooked on crack. I came to California in 1984, and that was the explosion of the white man's high. It was dropped into Oakland. It was just dropped. It was available. It was everywhere. And you played around with the powder first. That you just laced your cigarette up with your powder, and it was a casual type of new high to us. As we wasn't used to this. Is what that's why they call it the white man's high. That's why they call it cocaine. We wasn't introduced to that. Only the ballers was introduced to it. But us on the bottom, we didn't know what that was. and I was introduced to it at a time when I was looking for something. I was reaching. I was reaching for something. I didn't. I just. I knew I was missing something, and I thought I had found it when I found that. Actually, the powder wasn't the thing. It was the rock that got me. The powder I would do occasionally, every once in a while. The rock I did every day. I fell in love with that feeling of escape. I fell in love, and it sent me on a certain direction. It sent me on a journey, and so 10 years later, after I finally kicked the habit, I mean, I had stopped, you know, and then started and stopped and went back and went. I did that back and forth thing for a while, and but 10 years later, after I finally let it all the way go, I was by then seeking again for the one. If I knew my father and was raised by my father, and my mother still lived today, and both of them still lived, I can't see how I'd be searching for something I had. Now, it's a lot of people without parents. Why am I the one who? Well, a part of my story, a part of my history, this 30-year journey. I always talk about my 30-year journey of seeking for the knowledge of self. And there was, when I was 22 years old, that's why it's a 30-year journey. I'm 52 now. But when I was 22, that's when it all began for me. Excuse me, you guys. Sorry. Um, it began a journey. With the journey began to me when I was 22, and I was in a work furlough program. I had just got out of prison for my first time. My introduction to the prison life, and I just got out and was in the work furlough program, and when my counselor pulled me in one day, I got off work, came in, did my normal routine, get off work, shower, eat, go to bed. You know what I'm saying? So, and excuse me, I'm gonna pause for a second. Okay, I'm back. So I blew my nose. But anyway, so I came and came home, and on my way in, each one of us had a counselor at the work furlough program. My counselor said she wanted to talk to me before she got off work that evening. And I said, okay, I'm dirty and filled up. I'm doing construction, so I'm all dusted. I said, well, let me shower and eat, and then before I turn it in, I'll come talk to you. She says, okay, yeah, do that. I'll say, okay. So I showered, I ate, and I told her, I said, I'm ready now. And she said, okay. And we went to our office upstairs, and I sat down. She closed the door. She came around to her side of the desk. I sat on the other side of the desk, and she pulled out my file. After going through some pleasantries with my file, asking questions. I She just came out and asked me, "Do you know who you are?" And I thought that was the stupidest question I ever heard in my life. But I didn't put that off because I didn't want to. I wasn't trying to clown her or nothing, But you know, I'm 22. I know everything about everything and twice as much about everything else. You know how your 20s. And so I said, yeah. After a brief pause of WTF, I said, yeah, of course. She said, oh, that's good. So who are you then? And I'm like, okay, so we're going further with this now. You know what I mean? I'm thinking that, can we move on to something else because I'm feeling uncomfortable because I'm like, so I did what pretty much any 22-year-old would do at that time. I said my name. And she waved that off with so much silliness. No. That's just your name. I'm talking about who you are. Now, the older me now, I look back at that and I'm like, is this a trick question? I got all kinds of comedy lines for that, But then my mind was blown on a couple of different levels. Number one, of course, I know who I am. Number two, of course, I know it's not my name, but I did say it. Number three, how is it I know everything about everything else, but I don't know that? Or I'm hesitant, or I have to think about it, or I have a little bit of a computer crash going on. The beginnings of a computer crash is jumping off right now. And so I said, well, let me think about that for a second. And she says, oh, that's okay. You got to think about it. You don't know. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to fast forward. I'm just saying. I don't know about nobody else. I believe that I'm not the only one with that history. I'm sure there's many others where people have asked them, do you know who you are? I'm sure that's not an original question. I'm sure that's not an original experience. I'm sure that crash and burn feeling thing that I experienced was not the only one on the planet. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. To say that changed my life is an understatement. To say that I began to process this, whatever that was, that I couldn't identify, the experience was unidentifiable. I didn't know what just happened. And that was more crazy to me because I felt I knew what everything was happening. I knew what was happening. Excuse me, I got to pause again, my nose. Okay, I'm back. So, and I got to end this. We're going to have to be a part two of this. I'm sorry. But I'm going to push it up on 20 minutes. Oh, it's 20. I got 33. I got plenty of time. I'm going to close this out on one video. Okay, cool. I thought I was looking at 33. Pause again, my nose. Okay, I'm back. So, So I don't know about nobody else, but that changed everything for me. At that time, I was a hip hop b-boy. I was a break dancer. I was a rapper. I was heavily into hip hop, and I I was at the battling stage at that time. Well, everything was a battle rap. Back in the days, you used to break dance. You used to break and pop and dance against people. You joined a group. Your group danced against that group, and it was battling. Everything was battling on the mic. You know what I mean? Woo, 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 woo. I'm gonna do. Everything was battling. Not too long after that, I got out of the battling scene. I wasn't writing battle rhymes no more. I was into consciousness. I mean, you gotta understand. From 22 on, the journey to the knowledge of self was on. I was not gonna have that question asked me again and feel like the idiot that I did feel. I wasn't gonna go through that again. I was gonna have some answers, some intelligent ones. Thank you. But I was already off because I shouldn't have answers. It should be an answer. But my mission was to come up with anything as opposed to or duh or let me think about that. But anything but those answers. I was on a mission to find, okay, dude. First of all, I was completely pissed off at myself because I've been with me 22 years and I don't know who I am. Both sides. Like, that didn't make no sense. That didn't compute at all. And then from there, if I don't know that, what do I know? If I don't know the one thing I should know, how can I claim to know any of this other stuff that I've been claiming to know? So I was on a mission to find out the answer to that question first. And then maybe I can, add on knowledge of whatever. It just didn't make no sense for me not to know who I am and then to know everything else. It just, that didn't. So I was on a mission. I mean, my life went on. I did stupid stuff. I went back and forth to prison and did drugs. I really was doing drugs after that. Are you kidding me? Man, put one on and hurry up and pass. My mind was blown completely. Nothing made sense. Nothing after that made sense. But I began my journey was on. Even while I was doing stupid stuff, I would not be denied. I wanted to know who I was, I had to carry that around with me. I had to say to myself, who am I? Do you understand how crazy that sounds? Insanity is a part of the process. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. How in the heck you been living with yourself all this time and you ain't... Dude. That's why this is for the 30s and over. All is for 30s and up. Because you got to survive your 20s, man. Your 20s is... You come up out them 20s, you ready for a change. You survive them. So, anyway, I'm going to close this pretty soon because I'm tired of pausing to blow my nose. Oh, but let me do that again because I gotta blow my nose. Hold on. Real quick sidebar. I'm back. Real quick sidebar, you guys. Anybody out there on YouTube with their grill out, the front grill? Anybody raise their hand? You got to give it. You got to at least. We got to admit that this is original. Nobody would get in front of a freaking camera with their grill out constantly, continuously. Yeah, once every blue moon or something. Ain't just to say peace and shout outs. But to put a page up, I don't dye my hair. I don't have the Just for Man hookup. Yes, believe me, I would love to have that my smile back. You know, the toothy one, not just the line. I would love to be nice and pretty for you guys, like everybody else is. But at the same token, this is who I am. I look at online, man, and everything is all shiny. I don't have too much no shine, so. But this is it's gonna. Oh, all1llA. I know you. The oneness of humanity. No more makeup. No more of this. Come on, man. We're not gonna do. Listen, we're gonna be celebrating ourselves. We're gonna be happy about who we are. We ain't gonna need all of that no more. I know there's whole industries talking about what? You know what I'm saying? Whole industries like looking at each other like, you know. The hair industries, the nail industries, the makeup industries. It's gonna be new industries. We're gonna have other industries that's gonna be created. We ain't gonna be, come on, man. All of the listen. I can see how change is scary. You know? Especially when you don't know where you're going. You know what I mean? Now if you can, you know, blaze a path and forecast and see what the next and then, you know, pursue, that's one thing. But to have a blank and talking about, okay, keep going. What? So I get it. But there's a lot of us who like ourselves the way we are. The matrix is that shine, that glow. And even when, oh, my nose is really messing with me this morning. Even when we are speaking consciously, we are literally, hey, listen, don't get me wrong. I shave, you know, right before I turn the video on. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, I mean, even that to a certain extent is a part of the matrix. But my issues, my sinuses, my eyes, my mouth, these are part of my existence today. It is what it is. I'm not, see, what the matrix will have me say, or the world will have me say, is then you need to stop doing this. But what? No way. The message I got, hold on to it, sit on it. No freaking way. Are you crazy? That's no way. I can't stop this. 30 years, of the search of the knowledge of self, and I'm going to sit on this? I gotta pause. Okay, I'm back. So, whatever happens, happens. I'm not, what I want to do, I don't want to just, I don't want to scare the babies. So, I don't want to just, lose and just go stupid with it. But this is who I am. This is me. And I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with me. I love me some me. So I'm good. Are you kidding me? My nose. Okay, so I'm going to end this. Anyway, the name of this is going to be Heads and Tails. And subtitle. A Short History of Anonymous, something like that. But yeah, so, we come into this world knowing everything. Literally as children, while we're in this world. Our experiences, first of all, we have recorded everything since we've been here. So you can go back when you was a child and remember some stuff. An infant, you can remember. It can be done. A lot of people man, about right around 5 years old, and everything before that is a blank. It's in there. All of it. It's in there. So you just kind of, imagination brings that stuff forth. Imagine what it would be like as a toddler looking out at the world. And next thing you know, you start, dude, I'm just saying, imagination is off the chain. So, but we looked out, everything we saw out at the infant stage was us. We was looking at ourselves. So, it's that time. I gotta stop. All right, you guys, y'all know what time it is. Stay beautiful as you are. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Heads and Tails of Life, and then the joining of it and experiencing that before we leave. And stay beautiful as you are. Peace. One is all.